Yeah, you bring up a really good point because you can have the best content strategy and you can get hundreds, if not thousands, of likes, but that doesn't necessarily convert into actual capital invested with you. And then if you just focus on code only and you don't have a content strategy, it's harder because you're not positioned as an authority, as a credible expert that they might want to invest with you. So like combining those two strategies, and you do it so well. Everybody should go check out Nishant's LinkedIn page, and we'll make sure we'll put the link here in the chat for you. You do it so well. The content you put out is really good. And then we'll dig more into the outbound strategies too. But let's first start with the content. So, how often do you post? And is there a certain time of the day that you post?
So firstly, thank you. You're very kind, and this is something I enjoy doing and just putting out more value for not only my network, to the investors and colleagues as well. It's been a lot of trial and error. Okay, in 2020, 21, I would just post static images, copy posts from different articles out there, and literally crickets on my post. I didn't know how is this thing really gonna grow? And then I did form a strategy. So as of now, I do post Monday to Friday every week. And I've been fairly consistent in the last, I would say almost 2.5 years since I've been in the fund of fund space. Okay. Both including my time as an independent contractor and about 16, 17 months of me having my own fund of funds on Investor. I do that Monday to Friday. I try to avoid weekends. I started off doing with all 7 days because you want to build that consistency. But then now I try and focus more on quality. So dividing those 5 posts into a little bit of video, some carousel, some top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel content, just to let the audience know, like top of funnel really is something personal about yourself, right? Your stories, your struggles. People want to know that every Friday without fail. I tend to write something about myself, right? Like I have a there's a lot going on in my life, and I think everyone wants to see the human side of you outside business as well, right? And it connects to business. I have a 9 month baby boy now. I'm a first time father, and I'm enjoying that. I'm building a business at the same time. I have certain challenges, personal development, how I'm managing my time, scalability, delegation, your limiting beliefs. So I tend to just be pretty honest about my experience as a real estate broker, why did I become a fund manager, me coming to America. So all of us have something interesting about us, right? And I think the more you put yourself out there, I just like at least once a week to show the human side of me. A little funnel content is something which I'll add. Someone who probably knows real estate but does not understand real estate syndications or multifamily or what a fund of funds is, just more educational, which I can put through carousels, 5 to 8 PDF slides or PowerPoint slides, which you can put through. By the way, they get great engagement and they're very visually appealing. You have great platforms, obviously, like Microsoft PowerPoint and Gemini, which you can use. And bottom of funnel content really is where you're talking more about case studies or testimonials or you helping your dream client and really putting it out there, which you're looking for business. So if you really divide them into these kind of buckets, right, it's not that difficult. So that helped me from a mindset perspective that, okay, I need to divide my content into buckets and eventually a certain writing style, which obviously I'll get more into detail. But I think for the purpose of this conversation, it's not just enough to put
Mm,
content out there, which is great. I truly believe you'll find the quality in the quantity, but you also need to figure out a bit more intentional about it.
very good. I love how you break it down like that. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel content. So with it being 5 days in a week, some of those contents are happening more than once. And if so, which one? Is it the middle and bottom of the funnel that happen twice a week, or how do you do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think a lot of focus goes on middle of funnel on the
I
education piece
see.
as well. I think top of funnel, when I look at more personal content, I like to do 2 to 3 pieces in 2 weeks. So it could be 1 week, one piece.
I
Second week could
see.
have 2 pieces. But largely to answer your question, if there are 10 pieces of content going out, 4 to 5 are going to be middle of funnel focus, which is again, think of it more educational, more strategy. People want to know your fund of funds. People want to know your fee structure. People want to understand that, okay, how are you giving a much better deal at a lower minimum than what they're going to get directly from the operator with the due diligence thrown in, for example, right? They want to know that what the value you're providing, the methodologies of how do you find these, how do you vet sponsors, the efforts you take and all those different calls or you're going for these events, people that really falls in the middle of funnel where you're educating people, but also you're subtly selling them. Bottom of funnel for me really is that I'm directly speaking out to my ideal client. It could be a partner at a management consulting firm, a partner in McKinsey or Boston Consulting Group, for example. Or it could be
I
an
see.
ideal client who you've helped, or a testimonial, or someone who's getting passive income. That's how I think about it. And then I recycle my content a lot as well, just to let your audience know you do get feedback, right? What's working, what's not working. And there are times when I like to keep 5 pieces of content ready, but last 2 weeks I don't do that. I'm literally creating content the same day. And sometimes I do get brain formed. And it's okay. We're all human. You can go back to your previous well-performing posts and actually recycle them. You can rewrite them through AI, you can change your pictures up. So consistency is more important. I think that's what I'm trying to drive.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, when you're writing your content, do you write it specifically for your avatar in mind? So share with us, I guess, two-part questions. Number one, who is your avatar that you're targeting as your investors? And then number two, yeah, when you're writing these content, do you think about them specifically, or do you write your content a little bit more general than just your avatar?
That's a great question. Broadly speaking, my avatar are focused on W2 employees working in Fortune 500 companies, predominantly the technology, finance, and consulting space. So I try and only go for people who are working in these top Fortune 500 companies. I love consulting folks. I love technology folks and finance because I come from New York City and my MBA background. A lot of my friends are also in these domains, so I know how they think and their pain points. And a lot of those, they were my clients as well when I was a real estate broker in New York. If I'm going to niche it down more, that helps me really focus through Sales Navigator, right? I can choose the companies, for example, a Microsoft or an Apple or a Facebook and Google or Amazon. I get the employees list and I can really start niching down. That's one way I do it. If I want to go a step further, then a step further would be people who went to the same school as me, right? Or people who came from the same city as me. Now it makes it
Mm,
even more targeted, right? Okay, so now you're talking about people who or potentially immigrants like myself who moved from New Delhi, went to similar school, and are in the US, and in a Fortune 500 company. Now that's really going a step forward. And that applies to everyone, even if you're an immigrant. Like it could be you move from one city to another city. You could be more city-based focused if you're based out of Dallas, or more from your alumni from your business school. So there are different ways. I think how I look at it is one is a fairly broader niche when people say, oh, I'm working with doctors, I work with dentists, or I work with attorneys, or I work with business people, but I take it a step forward, right? Now, what's the location or what is their demographic and make a good marriage of the two? That seem to work well with for me, and LinkedIn allowed me to do that.
yeah. Using sales navigators, it's more of an outbound strategy. And with an outbound strategy, yes, the more niche you can be, the easier it is for you to target them, identify them, pull the list. So, would it be fair to say that with the content, the inbound strategy with the content, you don't have to be as niche. You can be like more general, and then the outbound is more niche. Is that correct?
Yes, Tim. I think that's broadly a fair assessment. And if I may add as well, where how I look at the outbound strategy is that end of the day, whatever messages I'm sending out to people, or when I add them to my LinkedIn, they are now entering my world. Now I control the narrative. I control the narrative a couple of ways. Now, because I'm so consistent in my content and I'm getting good engagement, they get to see it. Every time they're seeing it, they become like your silent fans, right? So end of the day, they are warming up to you. They're getting to know you better. If you're going to divide it in the top four funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, and by the way, just a tip
Mm,
for anyone starting off or building their practice on LinkedIn, I would say more personal stories really help because again, people are just getting to know you. You can always link it to your business, and that's inspiring for people as well. And people see that human side of you, right? So by me posting, like I'm making a point to post at least 1 to 2 videos per week because then people are seeing me speak, they're getting to know me better. So they're already warming up to me. So I'm nurturing them in a way through my content. And then a part of my outbound strategy really is to make sure that, hey, and you can create a 1 to 5 message sequence. And you have AI tools which help you do that. I do not use AI tools and I don't subscribe to them either, third-party tools, just because there's a possibility of your profile getting banned. And I know there are a lot of coaches and gurus who say you do it. That's completely your call. But within LinkedIn rules, I'll say if you add someone to your contacts, okay, and let's say that person happens to be a top executive in Dallas, for example, now you have that opportunity to build a conversation. And when you're building that conversation, you can let them know what you do without coming across salesy, more helpful, and the opportunity to get their email address, or to, as you rightly said, Tim, the magic happens offline, or scheduling a call, or just getting to know them. So how I do it is through my outbound strategy. And this is something which I took from Hunter Thompson, and I give him the complete credit is, and I didn't join Race Masters. So you can get all of this by just reading his book as well. So I did not spend that money to join his program. But I think what was interesting is, which all of us can use, especially on LinkedIn, is before you even make a website or do anything, you can start still getting business. And what you could do with the outbound strategy is like, hey, Mr. Executive, who you had in Dallas, I've recently partnered with some of the best operators in this market. I'm seeing off-market multifamily opportunities that are completely passive, with good cash flow, tax benefits, and growth potential. Would you be open if I keep you posted about these deals? I anticipate 2 to 4 coming up. It's just for you to know what's happening in the market. Something like that, just get the idea. It's a very low ask, but the whole goal is to get their email address. And most people will say yes. Why not? If someone's going to tell me you can see a few deals which are off market, it's going to be cash flowing and are passive and it's multifamily and Sunbelt region. I'm just saying keywords that works. And obviously you can use AI and improve it, and you can have 2, 3 follow-ups to that if people don't respond. And once they say, yes, I take their email, add them to my investor list, but at the same time, you can also look at scheduling a phone call with them. So depending on, of course, the level of interest, the point I'm trying to say is that the magic happens through the outbound, but then when you can take that outbound and really start building your investor list, because the quality and size of your investor list is, in my opinion, the only determining factor of the size of your fund of funds business. There's nothing else which has a direct correlation as compared to the quality of